Jody before. Her and I did Relay for Life together, so I can tell you she's very passionate about what she does, no matter what she's doing. In fact, I think a minute ago she just volunteered to help lead a class for the chamber next season or something. We're going to workshop that. And Jody has been here for 38 years. She's not originally from Kentucky. She is from Wisconsin. But she has called Kentucky home for, like I said, 38 years. She raised her sons here. And she has had many different, very interesting careers. I don't know how I didn't know some of this, but Jody started out in medicine, and then she went on to TV communications, launching HBO across the U.S., and producing and writing in rodeos. She spent 13 years with Together We Cheer, and is now the tourism director, and has been the tourism director since 2013. What?
She asked me if it was true, or if Sue Tooth's still alive.
Girls. But anyway, so I'm very happy to introduce Jody Flair.
Okay, first of all, I have to clarify. I have been here for 38 years. I moved here when I was 2. So I want to welcome you to the Bill Monroe Museum, to Rosine, and if you're just visiting us, to Ohio County. So, first of all, thank you for our sponsors, and I want to bring it to your attention that there's a little plaque under here that says, "This frame crafted and constructed and donated by Young Manufacturing." So, throw that in there. When we were building the museum, this was a display that comes out after our barn, for our barn. And if you've been to the Rosine barn, there's a railing out in front of it, and that one came from the Methodist Church over here, where Bill's funeral was. But Young's created this for us, and it's gorgeous. And the ultimate question, first time anybody's been to the museum? Great. First time anybody's been to Rosine? Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, I am the director of tourism here, and I direct for the county. Next month, you'll be going to the amphitheater, and that's Beaver Dam tourism. So what my job is to bring a tourist, is considered anybody over 50 miles. So my job is to bring those people to our county. Excuse me, where Beaver Dam focuses on local events and things like that. I wanted to do something or advertise what's going on here to bring people in, such as our Gospel Fest that's coming up. We've been marketing for that, and we want to pull people from all over. So the tagline for Ohio County is Home of Bluegrass. Ohio County is the home of bluegrass. Right away everybody says, Owensboro is the capital. They are. I don't care. You can say whatever you want to say, but we are the home of bluegrass. Chris Johnson was the director. He has since resigned from there, but he and I started about the same time. The first thing we did is had a lunch together and said, Chris, I'm going to tell you, we are the home of bluegrass. And he went, oh, I understand that. Bill was born here, but you should be. And I said, so you can say whatever you want to say, but you can never say you're the home of bluegrass. Because we are. We are the home of bluegrass. Rosine is the birthplace, as Chuck said, the birthplace of bluegrass, because Bill was born here. And now I got to a point where, and I don't want to show hands, because I don't want you to embarrass yourselves. But does everybody know who Bill Monroe was? Right. Well, if you don't, I totally invite you to either spend time today after we're finished, or come back up and go through the museum. The museum was built in 2018, and it was a dream that they had going back to 2000. When they started in 2000, they wrote a grant, and they were able to restore the home place, but they just kind of didn't have enough money to keep going, so this got put on the back burner. Fortunately, your judge executive, David Johnson, had the idea that this would someday become to fruition. So what he did is he purchased this land when the grant first came, and then they just sat on it for a while. So we had the land, And in 2018, we were able to open the museum. Although there's many things to do in Ohio County, bluegrass is the #1 attraction. We get people from all over the United States, all over the world. I'm very proud to say that we have all 50 states that have come to the museum. And I want to introduce Connie Gaskill. Connie works with me in the museum. She's our receptionist. And Connie, when did we get Rhode Island? Was it last fall?
It was that summer,
Okay.
during the summer.
Yeah, last summer we got Rhode Island. That was our last state and the hardest one to get. But we've been all the way and all the way across the United States. On your way out, take a look at the world map. I'm very proud of that also. We have had, they've come from Vietnam, from Brazil, from Switzerland. We get them all over. Don't forget your heritage. If you're from Ohio County, it is important to know who Bill is. We all know Donetta Crawford. Donetta shared with the board one day that she was in Japan and there was a lull. The tour guide was just making up time and he said, you know, where are you from? Where are you from? And she said, when they got to us, I said, Kentucky. She said, people turned and said, do you know where Rosine is? And she said, yes, I live there. And they said, you live there? Do you know Bill Monroe? Tell us about Bill Monroe. They got up. She said, I felt so bad for the tour guide because I totally took over. And she said, so they knew us in Japan. And they do. They know you all over. I really stress for our schools to come up on our school day because it is important to know that heritage. I did make a vital mistake one day. I told the school group, I said, I think it was Bill Monroe that put Kentucky on the map. Well, I think England might have a problem with that. So I don't repeat that anymore. So tourism is all about the economic impact. And when we think, you know, so what, people coming here? Let's think of Florida. Florida has no state tax because they have economic impact in their tourism. They got Disney, they got Universal, they got the beach, they got the weather. So people come in. The idea of this 50 miles or farther is to have people come in, eat at our restaurants, right Trevor? We'd love to see them eat at our restaurants. We want them to buy our gas, and we want them to shop in our shops, and let's have them do a wedding at the venue. We want people to come in. AutoZones told me when we brought back the festival in 2018 that week that the festival used to be here was the best week they had year-round. Because if RVs are coming in and they need things. I've had people call me and ask me to check with our auto parts homes because they're like still 100 miles away. They know they're going to need something when they get here. And I call them and it's waiting for them when they get here. So it's all about economic impact. Next month, you're going to hear the commissioner and he's going to share some data, but I'm going to toot a little bit here because right now Florida has the beach, and I think the only thing that we could say that we have is storm chasers right now. Where Kentucky might be, you said we're the tornado alley now, we might be getting those storm chasers, but they're not going to spend a lot of money. But we want them to because in 2000, the data for this month, last year was not out yet, but in 2023, this area is where we are. Okay, this is Ohio County, and it's called the BBB, Blues, Barbecue, and Bluegrass. So last year it was 533.7 million came in from people and tourists in that region. Our region, the BBB region, is Davis County, Hancock, Henderson, Hopkins, McLean, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Union, and Webster. So our region alone pulled in that. I don't have that data. Okay, you'll share that with me next month. So in that region, when AARP money came out, the state did a multi-jurisdictional where people could join in with other groups. Ohio County Tourism jumped in with a group, and there's going to be a Kentucky music trail. It's going to go from Lexington to Mount Vernon and kind of sashay across. When I put our part of the grant in, we put in the amphitheater, the Rosine Barn, and the Jerusalem Ridge Festival. So this is sort of geared toward that individual to come and make a day trip here. I would love this to be an overnight trip, but right now we're considered a day trip. But those jurisdictionals are called the Kentucky Music Trail. People from Ohio, first Kentucky, then Ohio, then Indiana, and then Tennessee are our 4 top drawing states that come to see us. So, back to my notes here. So not only are we involved with the individuals, we do tour buses. This year alone, we have 3 already set up. One's coming from Canada, one's coming from the Netherlands, and one is coming from the UK. And I want to mention the UK because in September, and it will be on our Facebook and on our website, last February, I think it was, the UK came and they were doing a documentary on music. And they came to Rosine, and the barn is open every Friday, but we did a pseudo barn on a Sunday when they set it up so people were there. And they had heard about our Rosine barn, and they wanted to get the atmosphere, what it was like, and they were showing the difference between the glitz and the glamour and the rock and roll and the fast action of Nashville than to come to Rosine, where bluegrass and music has started. And so they came here and they loved it. It did happen to be a horrible day though. It was a terrible rainstorm. Everybody's filming under things. It went sideline here. They're on the porch of the home place filming. They were doing great. They're in shorts like it's a beautiful summer day. It's just pouring. And anyway, every time it would lightning, they would have to start over. And Jason knows this because every time it would happen, all the TV where they're filming would all lighten up. So it was a little sideline. But anyway, it was fun. And that documentary will be in September, so we can all watch that. So the museum itself in 2024 had 1,500 visitors. But there's more to do in Ohio County. What we don't realize is the amphitheater last year brought 30,000 people in. They have 14 concerts scheduled this week. And although those people might not stay overnight, they're still coming in here early. The museum picks up when we have a concert going on. They're shopping, they're getting gas, they're coming to eat. That's what we wanted to do. The home place sees over about 1,000 people. And we get groups there. We get car clubs, we get church groups, homeschool groups like to come up to there, and we get a lot of that. But your little day and community events, like Fordsville Days, Centertown, all those too do attract people from other areas. A couple weeks ago, we had Celebrate the Child, 29 years. Very, very happy about that. Mary Ann Piper had a tremendous dream, and it carries on. Well, and Melissa Palomino was actually stepping into Mary Ann's shoes and doing a fantastic job. But I took the liberty of walking the parking lot. I counted 19 different either counties or state license plates. Now I know you could, have a county license plate and still live here or whatever, but I still thought to see 19 different ones was amazing. That something like that brings it in. And who knows, they could have bought gas. All that helps. So my budget is done by what they call a transient tax. I am paid by heads and beds. It's a 3% that's added to campgrounds, hotels, and now the Airbnbs. So we have 150 campground sites in Ohio County, and hopefully soon to be another one, the best campground that'll be behind the amphitheater. And then we have 82 hotel rooms. And at this time, we have over 19 Airbnbs. And I found that when I do my data, I find that amazing that we have that many. And they're full. People are waiting to get in. So people are coming. Fast Draw is another thing. Beaver Dam supports it downtown, and they do a state shoot. The last count I had, they had 28 states coming in for 4 days. Those people are staying here. They definitely are eating. They definitely are spending money. A lot of the men shoot, the women don't. They're out there shopping. But the hardest part of my job is getting to know what's going on in the community. Because I can't, or let's say I won't, call everyone that does something and say, what's up? What are you doing this summer? What I really ask is if you know of an event coming up or you know something happening, call me. I want to market it for you. I want to put it on there. So check my Facebook, send me a message, and I would be very, very pleased to do that. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
Do you get notified about baseball tournaments and that sort of thing in the county?
No, I do not. That is a good thing. Yep. Yep, I don't. They really pull a lot of people. And the thing with economic development, when you talk about having an event like that, we'll go, like I just came to a 2-day convention in Georgetown, and they allow people, even the baseball events and stuff, they allow break time because that's part of the deal. Paul knows when he brings in a baseball team here, there's going to be wives and other kids and stuff coming in. They build in break time that those people can get out. And why I mentioned the Georgetown thing, she did an economic impact. We have to sign up how much money we spent in there. It was over $13,000 for 2 days for about like 20 women to be there. You know, so it really does help. Anyway, out at the sign-in desk, there's this little slip, another Mary Ann Piper invention. So it is just things for the summer. We pass these out in school today with the sucker. They like the suckers better than the yellow paper. But they got this. It's activities. There's nothing to do in Ohio County. There is. Look for it. Do it. And if nothing else, walk on some of our trails. Highland Park is a gorgeous place. There is things to do. And always grab a fishing rod and go to the nearest ditch. We got backwater with fish on it all over. Thank you very much. Now, since there's lots of bluegrass, I'd like to introduce Judge David Johnson and Mackenzie Bell.
Going to do something called Sally Good. By the way, there's no doubt that this is about to play some bluegrass music. So don't even think that could be a possibility. But anyway, this next song is Uncle Pen. It's a song that Bill Monroe wrote about his uncle that lived right over the hill here. And there was another song that Bill was singing called Uncle Bill. And he said, I've got my own uncle, so he wrote a song about Uncle Pen, which did mentor him a lot when he was young. He mentions, and I know you're familiar with that song, Uncle Pen. One of the songs that's mentioned in that song is Jenny Lind. And when Uncle Pen became a big hit, many little girls across the United States was named Jenny Lind after that song. And in the end of it, you're going to hear Jenny Lind. She's going to fiddle Jenny Lind at the end of the song a little bit. playing together for quite a while. She said 9 years of late. We've been playing together, and I've not been with anybody else playing music or anything else that I can, seems like I have a mental connection with. I can almost read her mind, and she can read mine.
Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad.
Okay, and every show that we've done, or every time we got to play, get a chance to play, we've ended up playing with Orange Blossom Special, and we're going to do one half of that for you.
All ready?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That was the advice of leadership.
A bunch of big guys about it.
Yeah, I think I would put David up against any judge executive in the state. Eastern Kentucky may because Brown, I don't know. And of course, Mackenzie, I think I overheard she just graduated high school.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep,
So she's got a bright future.
she does.
Yes. So tourism, big thing. I know Ohio County Tourism, Big Bend Tourism, have been working really hard on that. Hopefully you will maybe have a distiller in the, on the trail here pretty soon. I'm amazed every time I go by there, not only how big it's grown, but how quickly you all have achieved that. So that's no small feat. So congratulations. Western Kentucky Distillery, you know, I haven't seen it. Quite something to see.
From groundbreaking to full production was 11 months.
Yeah. How many brick houses do you have now? We're up to 6. 6 brick houses.
It is state of the art. It's gorgeous.
Congratulations. We look forward to having you stop on the garden trail. So if I don't go ahead and do the door prize, March, I'm going to be in trouble. So we will get ticket number 888-176, and the door prize is sponsored by Carter State Farm. Okay, well, come, Jared Gunther. And one thing I want to mention as well, the flowers on the table are not just decoration. Those brought by the State Farm, and they would like for you to take one home with you. So thank you all again for sponsoring.
And your little magnet of the necklace. Take that.
Oh, yes.
And the sunscreen.
take such and the microphone as well. Thank you, Cartersville State Farm, and also sponsor bands and fashion company. Our next meeting will be June 26th at 11:15, and that will be at the amphitheater in Beaverton. So, should be a good meeting. Keep your eye on Facebook and social media.
Who's speaking at that one? The Kentucky Commissioner of Tourism, Mike, and I don't know how to say his last name, but he'll be coming down.
Yeah. And Brittany will be introducing him because I can't pronounce it.
We're just gonna say welcome Mike, is all we're gonna say.
Our Hinton Farms is gonna be Friday, this next Friday, the 30th at 11:30. So she would love for you all to come out. There's gonna be some finger food and refreshments. So it's a beautiful place. I wish you guys could really make it.
The 30th, Hilton Farms, so keep an eye on social media. We'd love to have you all there. And that's why I keep Laura around, because she can answer the hard questions. Thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you all next month's meeting. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.